My name is Mark Arrebola. I work at the Garvan Institute of Medical Research and also UNSW Art and Design, and my job is basically to make virtual reality experiences of medical concepts and stories, really. Our VR experience we've made, Cell Explorer, lets you explore the inside of a place that you wouldn't otherwise be able to go. And you may have guessed by the name, it's the inside of an actual cell. So with that, you can explore at your own pace and venture deep within the cell and manipulate the gene and control transcription. The main purpose of this experience is for education, but it does have some benefits being that it's in VR. VR is a fun medium, so it makes it more approachable, and also the aesthetic lends itself to that. So with that approachability, it conveys or it enables more conversation between both lay people and researchers, and also lets the researchers themselves see the content, or the cells even, in a way that they perhaps haven't seen before. Rather than seeing it through a microscope, they're standing inside the data itself. It was an iterative process that we had. We started with the sort of broad strokes of the scientific story that we wanted to tell, and then from then we sort of just moved forward and got down to the nitty-gritty of what specifics we wanted to tell. So with that came questions that we posed ourselves, and when we didn't know the answer to it, we relied on the Garvan to provide us with a bit of scientific context and background into that. And then from then we, progressed the thing a little bit further until we came to another question, and then we clarified that question. And what we ended up with is an experience where you venture directly into the cell through the cytoplasm with all the organelles and whatnot around you, and then get to actually play around with DNA and gene transcription in the nucleus itself. I think, given that it's quite an approachable experience and VR is a fun thing to use, especially if you've never used it before, it's quite engaging. So it lets you feel like a child when you're using the experience, because you have this curiosity that you perhaps haven't experienced before, or not for many years at least, in my case. And it opens your eyes to a new way of seeing things, and that then sparks conversation, and it allows the layperson to perhaps get a better idea of what scientists are actually doing, rather than just observing them transferring colourless liquids from one tube to another. They can actually see and contextualise what's actually going on in those labs. We're looking at multiple avenues for this thing. We're thinking we should tailor the experience to specific audiences, so a high school audience, tertiary audience, researchers, and then beyond that, we want to tell more scientific stories. We want to have an entire library of things that you can explore and do. So the Visualization Dome is an extension of what we're doing at the Garvan Institute and UNSW Art and Design, or more specifically the 3D Visualization and Aesthetics Lab. It's another immersive environment where, rather than putting on a headset and having your controllers like you do in virtual reality, you can stand in this physical space and actually look around at stuff that has been captured from the same experience or created bespoke for the dome. And it's a much more social experience, because you can have multiple people in there looking around at the same thing, whereas in the headset you sort of, maybe watching what they're doing on the screen, but you're not in the experience with them. Whereas with the dome, you can sit side by side and enjoy the experience together.